Hi, everybody. Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is Open the Mic, the podcast. We got a great guest for everyone to listen in today. The amazing JP Leonard out of Lafayette Comedy. Big ups for him. Big ups. Very excited to have him on and talk shop with him, with myself, Omar Finley, Jeremiah, and Terrence, and JP. That's it. Anybody? Yeah, that's it. Hey, JP, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How y'all doing?
Good. I asked you that question 20 minutes ago. I love pretending like we ain't talk for 20 minutes before a podcast start. It's the best thing.
I like on talk shows when they walk out, give each other a hug, but they didn't talk to each other for 20 minutes.
Yeah. What you doing here? Yeah.
What you getting?
How you get to CBS?
Wow.
Oh man.
No, man. No, I was just like we were talking a little bit before. I was on a podcast today, and I was singing your praises. They were talking about people you look up to in like stand-up community, and I was like, obviously, I got to give the shout out to JP. Everything you're doing with Lafayette Comedy is just like an inspiration to us since we're like in the same realm, just in Baton Rouge. And I know Terrence and I look up to you as like a reference and a resource for a lot of info because you get tons of acts like Dave Ross and Chris Carpenter and Sean.
Are you trying to ask me to co-sign something?
I mean, I'm personally asking you. No,
okay, all right, that's fine.
Hey, why don't you just book for us too?
Yeah.
You start. I don't like the business side of stand-up. I'm not gonna lie.
Will you help us kidnap Mark Norman so he'll do our show right there?
Yeah, that's fine. He's really easy. Yeah,
get a big bag.
He's a tiny guy, so it's okay.
Yeah. That's really what we came to ask about.
Yeah,
that's really the whole podcast. We're done, I guess.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
We're done.
Thanks for having us.
That was a hot one. Can you tell everyone a little bit about that joke, like, and how it just you keep promoting it and like doing the stickers? I've seen other people like that I didn't know follow stand up.
Hey,
like,
give me 1 second. Hey.
Oh no, he's gone.
Prop comic over here.
Prop comic.
There he comes. He comes.
Here it is. Hey.
You know what now?
For those of you who are watching the podcast version of this, JP has a mug that is election style politician mug. It's Santana. What is it? Santana 2020.
Santana Thomas.
Santana Thomas 2020.
Yeah, Santana Thomas, man, it's a hot one. That is the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. I was thinking the other day how it came about, but I just remember one night at the beer garden, I was hosting. It was Stone versus Drunk, and it was packed. So I was like, okay, let's just do something stupid. And so I only had like 2 or 3 references, and it was just, all right, like, you guys like impressions? This is in, so and so. I'm winded from running to the kitchen. Hey, God, go to a commercial. I remember doing it that night. I remember there was about 35% people looking at me like I was an idiot, and then the rest of the people were just enjoying it because it was comedy. And then I think when we did the No Show album recording, that was maybe only the 3rd time I did it. Because I remember doing it. I think I did it at the Happy's one time.
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah, so it was 3rd or 4th time. And I remember sitting there and I was recording that album. And then Jeremiah was like, hey, you're next. And I was like, oh, I got to figure out a set. And so I was like, okay. And I was like, no, I was like, just introduce me as a master impressionist. And I was like, what a risk. And it turned out to be my favorite thing I've ever done in this world. And it's so stupid. But I mean, it's made its ways, when Matt Bronger was here, he took stickers and he's got a mug and all that, and he shares it around. So it's just, I don't know. It's the dumbest thing I've ever done, but I've sold about 400 stickers, which is crazy. Plus like someone bought a beach towel and sold mugs and buttons, and it's just.
When you performed it on the album, I think the second to last one you do, I think you can hear me audibly laugh. because
Yeah, yeah.
you added you did it before. I'd heard it before, and then you added a part where I thought you were going to stop, and I think I cackled because I'm in the back of the room, close to one of the mics. I think you can hear me audibly cackle when you do that one because I thought it was done, and you just did it to 2 more minutes. I thought you were going to do did it at 5 minutes. I think it happened, and then at that point is when I thought you were going to be done, and you were like, "No, I'm going more."
No. And then Isaac Cozell gave me that little tag about do a misdirection because every punchline's man, it's a hot one. And then he's like, you need to do something like reference the song Smooth. And so in my head, while I was up there, I was going, how I'm gonna do this. And then I was like, okay, and then it turned into the masseuse bit, and then the oil, and I'm trying not to say the word hot, and I'm like, oh, you could put it in the microwave, and then everyone's waiting for man, it's a hot one. And I'm like, man, your hands are smooth. And it was like, I was so happy with myself. And, that's fine. And then the last one was just like, okay. Yeah. The fact that I've tricked several crowds into singing Happy Birthday, the whole song to Rob Thomas's fictional daughter is just my favorite. So so stupid. So anyway, yeah.
I love that joke. I love that joke so much.
Fun.
Yeah. If I die, that's what I want to be remembered for. So
Rob Thomas.
I just think it's weird how I hear that song all the time, and now I can only think of you when I hear the song.
Dude, I get messages out the blue. I get texts from people I don't even know. I get my daughter makes jokes about it, so it's so stupid. It's I had people at work, people I'm supervising make that joke, and I'm like, all right, this is beyond me. So if I was smart, I would really ride it more, and perform it more. But I mean, I think I've done it twice since that album recording. I did it for Matt Bronger when he was here the first time, and then when I did a little run with Dan St. Germain, and the guy in Mississippi made me do it, and then I haven't done it since. So one day,
Yeah, just put it in your back pocket.
Yeah, it's always there, and it can go from 3 minutes to 8 minutes. So it's one of those bits where if I need time, then hey,
big closer, big Neff closer. And that's the title.
That's the title of his special.
Yes, it's a hot one.
It's a hot one. Yeah.
Or either that
or Smooth. I think it's
that. The person who's reviewing for the New York Times, that's probably what they're gonna put. It's it's a hot one.
That'd be okay.
Jeremiah, you can't just be casually drinking off that Gatorade in the middle of this.
Do you work for the equipment team? you work on the equipment staff for the LSU or the Saints or something like that?
Yeah, why do you keep that? They don't even keep it as cold as that.
Jeremiah Camara. That sounds like
Jeremiah Camara does.
When I had my nose ring, it was very the resemblance was palpable because I used to have my nose ring, but he plays with a grill on. I can't do comedy with a grill. It's
not with that attitude.
Not with that attitude. No.
I think you could do it.
You can't afford a grill.
You can do you can do comedy at the Station Bar and Grill. Thank you.
I could.
There you go.
That guy. What a talent.
Man, that's a dumb one. All right.
Speaking of Station, I didn't know for there was a good 3 months where I didn't realize that you were a Lafayette Comedy comic when I first started because y'all were always at the station. I just assumed that y'all just left early. And then one day y'all were like, oh, from Lafayette. And I was like, oh, there's other people from other towns that do this.
Dude, when I started, man, we had our mic on. My mic was on. Well, the run I was running at Poets was a Friday night. It was a mic and a book show, and then JP's on Sundays, and then the only other ones was Station on Wednesdays, and then sometimes I would just drive to New Orleans and go, pick a night and whatever mic they had. I would go do Tuesdays a lot over there, so I could do two shows or whatever if it was a mic or usually just get booked on a show. But man, the station was great because it was people actually showed up for a while.
The room will be packed. They would pay for the privilege to come to open mic.
And the headliner got paid.
I can't even fathom that happens now. That used to happen all the time. People would pay to see what could have been some really terrible comedy.
Dude, one we've done with our mic is we've always had actually, well, after the Poets days when it was at JP's, there was a cover, and then when we moved it to like Steam Press and
Oh yeah,
a
there was
few
a
other
cover.
places,
Like
we
Weird
always
Al.
had a cover. Yeah,
It was
and then it went up to like 5, and people were still paying. I mean, we've had headliners leave at like $200 just off the door sometimes on an open mic, which is crazy. But it's real important to stagger your lineup when you do your booking, and also the one thing we always had was a headliner. My very first open mic I ever booked was having someone close it out, and then we actually flipped it where for an hour, I was telling Jeremiah this, for an hour you had 2 or 3 comedians and a headliner, so you got a good hour of good comedy. And then we did an open mic because my biggest fear, especially for Lafayette, was comedy was so new, and my biggest fear is your first time coming to see comedy was an open mic, and then that would just ruin you forever. It's kind of like, oh, your first time eating steak, you eat at Checkers, and then or Rallies, and like, oh, okay. So yeah.
Sunday show is my first time ever booked. That was like 2015, like November of 2015. I did 20 minutes.
Those were.
I only had 10.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah.
I appreciate.
Yeah, we had a lot of. That was some good shows over there, even through the evolutions, everything. That was fun, and it was nice because man, we had a Friday and a Sunday, and it was you always had good shows on the weekend.
I like that one.
Yeah. How does so right now, like you're primarily known as like a producer, and like we're all producers here, and how do you balance the time between like producing stand up and still working on your craft itself? Like, do you find it like hard and difficult to like try to being an artist and being like the business side of comedy? Because I find it extremely difficult.
It is, but I mean, I took what I was doing playing music and applied it because I mean I played in the band, so I was like the guitar player. I ran the sound from the stage. I did all the booking. I did everything. So for me, actually being on the stage was like the easy part. It's like because it's for music band, it's 3 to 4 hours that I didn't have to worry about anything other than playing. So when it got into comedy, it was like you got to do the behind the scenes, the producing and everything. And for me, I've always hosted every single show I've ever done, like showcases. And so even the open mics, I was hosting the open mic. So my version of open mic was me doing all the hosting, or if we had a book show, I would do new stuff up top as my host set, which is risky, but I think it forced me to work a little harder just so I wouldn't throw out some turds or whatever. So it was like, okay, you got to really step it up. Now with like all the national shows, it's crazy, the stress level, from like, okay, I'm handling the tickets at the door, making sure they got that, make sure the artist is okay, make sure I got everything covered, make sure I got the checkbook, all the good stuff. And it's like, your heart's going a million miles per hour, and it's like, okay, right before I got to get up on stage, it's like I need 10 seconds to breathe, and then once it starts, it's the easiest thing, So but it's hard because you want to make the show go okay, and if it's not, then it all falls on you. So it's I love it. I'll never regret any of it. But it's at times it's a big stressor, especially if you're not making the money. And so I think it's hard. There's been several times on stage going, cool, I'm telling this joke and I'm losing $800 tonight off of one show because so and so has a guarantee or whatever. My biggest loss was $800. That sucks. And it's like, well, what are you gonna do? It's like, all right, just roll up there and punch through it and see what happens.
We lost about 5, I think, is our worst one.
Yeah,
those 500-600.
The first one I lost that big on was my first year doing it, which was Baron Vaughn, which is one of the best shows I've ever had as far as performance wise. Like him, he was amazing. and I lost, and that was weird because his I had Isaac Cozell and Leon Blando on the show. They were both coming from New Orleans, and luckily they were on the show because his management people flew him into New Orleans, not Lafayette. So I saw an email, like, you know, and I was like, wait a minute, like, what hotel is this? So I called the hotel and I was like, I asked for his room and I was like, hey, are you in New Orleans? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, Jesus. And so I ended up having to, get one of them to grab him. They brought him down and brought him back. But that was a show that almost didn't happen just because of logistics. But other than losing all that money, it was a great show. And then the other biggest one was, when was that? A couple of months ago. Well, almost a year ago, over a year ago, was that Pepitone show. And, and I took a gamble on a Sunday night for Lafayette. And,
you lost money on that one?
Yeah. It's just,
hard to fill up on a Sunday.
That was,
yeah.
Is that,
yeah.
That was the one that was right after
the one here. We had
one on Saturday. We had the Saturday.
Yeah.
And we had the Sunday.
Yeah. Was that Trent? Yeah. Yeah. And it was a risk on a Sunday night. And, but I mean, I booked that as a comedian booking a comedian. And so I was like a big fan. Eddie Pepitone's amazing. His last two specials are some of the greatest pieces of work I've ever seen, especially that last one. It's one I think I watched it 3 times one night. It's flawless. It's beautiful. But people know him from certain things, but he's not a name that's, here that wasn't known. Whereas he was selling out everywhere he went. But, but here people just didn't know him. So you get those, you get the gamble and, and then you just hope you have another show to make up for the deficit. So
Sunday shows in general just aren't.
Yeah, we lost our shirts the biggest on a Sunday show.
Yeah,
I want to throw up just thinking about it.
I don't really want to talk about it anymore. I guess we could for the sake of the podcast, though.
Possibly.
Nah.
No, that's fair.
Mm-mm.
It's gonna make me sad. I won't want to.
Fucking brunch show. Get the fuck out of here. Why do we?
Was that the one I was on?
Were you there?
He was there.
Oh yeah, I think
in the daytime.
Yeah.
I was his ride. That's because we did that. We had.
Yeah, you brought him. You brought him.
We went to Mississippi.
And I brought him to New Orleans.
Yeah. We came from Mississippi straight to that show, so we had to like wake up early and get on the road.
I had my first Heineken Zero though, so that was one thing.
Yeah.
I've never tasted non-alcoholic beer until then. Tastes the exact same.
It does.
Yeah, it's just
exact same.
It's weird.
And we talked a bunch of wrestling on the ride. That made it okay, but.
Oh yeah, he's big. Yeah, well, I remember driving to Mississippi with him killing a 6-pack, and I'm going, if I get pulled over, I guess I can't get a ticket for this, open container of non-alcoholic beer, So yeah, but hey, you win them, you lose them. So
yeah, we lost that one.
Yeah.
I hate it. I look at the flyer sometimes just to make sure my heart is hardened to it. Like I don't. So much money.
So much money.
They can't all be winners.
In one day, it's just how it was so much money in one day, and we had such a good run in the summer. Other than that, and that just like depleted us in a way that just didn't even. It came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. Like the cost just kept going up, and then it was wild. It was awful.
I look at some of my showcase shows like Stone versus Drunk and the other, whatever I have. Those successful shows help pad for potential losses of other shows. That's how I look at it. One hand feeds the other. You're lucky if they all make it. And if not, it's okay. Well, I know that, these shows did good. So it kind of balances out. Sometimes it takes a couple months, but it's the gamble of business and dependent on people. That's why if I'll give someone a high percentage rate rather than a big guarantee. So
yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you when you talk about the business, like this is something that we like.
At least he's not like Yeah.
Yeah,
I bet it's just
Oh,
water too. It's not even Gatorade. He just put it in the Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yeah, just there you go. Now,
Um,
now spit on the floor. Okay.
Lemonade. That's how you
We're
drink.
gonna go back to boxing.
one thing I wanted to ask real quick, because like we have this internal conversation a lot, and is when you talk about the business of comedy and like doing those partnerships with different businesses and event venues and stuff, like a lot of times I think there's a stigma because we're stand up and not like music or anything. They try to get one over, or even better yet, they own a business but they're not business people, and then they try to get one, either get one over on you, or they're really really hard with like liberties with like door and all that. What's your experience been like as a producer trying to like navigate those waters, and what are some things that you do to like kind of safeguard against that?
I mean, it happens in music too. I mean, we would, no matter how many times you put it in our text or writing, hey, here's the deal, here's the financial deal. We've got people that, I had a guy try to pay me a fraction what the band was supposed to make. And it was like, we finally got our money, but it's, I haven't run into that in comedy, once or twice, but it was at a bar that's no longer, and there's a reason for that, because the dude was a turd. But it's for me, when I try to sell it to a venue, it's like, hey, this is what it is. It's the easiest thing. You don't need crazy security. I need a microphone. I need lights that don't move. I'll provide my own. I just need a sound system or whatever. And I need, whether you get someone to work the door or you use one of them, and it's basically like, just spell it out for them. This is all I need from you. And at best, I'm gonna put some people in here that you may not have before, or, you could get a different type of crowd, or if it's a big show, like the ones we did, the DoubleTree or the Beer Garden, they're like, once you prove yourself, they just, pretty much give you what you want, because, you're packing them in there, 300 people on a night at the DoubleTree, when, they wouldn't have anyone in there, because it's used mostly for conventions. And if they're not having a convention, that room just sits there. So you put 300 people in there, and the next thing you know, your bartenders are loving you, and, the GM and everyone. So it's just, proving your worth if you can, and hopefully you can. It's always weird when you go to a new venue. And then when you're doing well when bars or venues hit you up to do shows, because they want to ride that comedy train, and then you just got to go, okay, well, this is what I need. I don't know. It's each one's different, and if I have a bad time, I don't run with it. And I've pulled shows from many of bars. There was a great little restaurant in town called Dick's, and where they hit us up to do a show there, and I was like, cool, I'll finally get to call a show. It was Dick's, DIX, and I finally got to call a show Dick's Jokes, and I'm like, I've made it in comedy. This is the greatest thing in the world. And then we did 2 shows, and it was like, there's no reason to do shows here anymore. It's not what your crowd wants, and I don't want to have someone tell Mike Honoré a racist term from the audience. So, which happened. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to, and it was just some drunk dude who happened to be in there, but it was like, okay, well, it's, let's not pursue this anymore. And it was, it's like, okay, but I still use the owner's other venues because he was a great dude. And it's just like your built-in audience that drives if that show is going to be successful or not. So that's my biggest thing to look for, is when someone says, come do this bar. Well, what's your clientele,
Yeah. Last time we did a show, like when we did Drunk versus Stone versus Sober, that was a weird experience because it was, by all accounts, highly successful. But then the bar owner was like, yeah, we didn't make any money off of this. And I was like, how? Like we had what, like 40 pre-sale tickets.
Yeah.
He started to say like the outside bar didn't make that much money. And I was like, sir, my tab I had 2 tabs. One of them was $80 and the other one was $50. I was like, I alone spent $100 and something, and I'm just on the show. Like,
we also kept them for like another hour. You don't remember because you were very,
but
we kept them. We kept people in there for about an hour to the fact, who were literally only there for that show. But because of the way they have their tab set up at that venue, the tab is in the regular bar and the tab's in the outside bar.
Yeah.
You can set them anywhere. And so people we're getting drinks as the first one on the way in. and they were acting like that wasn't our people. But I could have given them, we could have given them the list of the people on the show that went to the show, and then he could have given us the receipts of people who paid to come in here, and could have pointed out which ones were ours.
Yeah,
because we had 80 people in there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like at the beer garden when we first doing shows, it was different management, and so they used to do the cover at the front gate. So even to get on the property, you had to pay to cover, and so that was a big tell of like, okay, how big comedy was doing, because that whole venue, people paid a cover to get in. Now some people wouldn't even go watch the show; they just want to get in there, like a cover charge. But now that it's in the tent, it's everyone inside that tent is there for the show. You get a few people who stay on the deck and watch, but yeah, I mean for you, it's showing that guy like, look at your back. Like, what would people be out here if there wasn't a show going on? You weren't turning people away; they would just stay in the other two sides. So yeah, I think that's BS there.
Also, they made for a little while, because that show is so crazy, because you were too drunk to help me. I was drunk for the game. You were drunk for the game, but you were too drunk to help me. They started taking a door at the front. We were already at a door in the middle for our show because it's supposed to be free to get in. But after a while, they start paying people at that door. So then people were paying twice to come to the show, and I didn't know that was happening for like 15 minutes. And then somebody finally came up that I knew and told me, and I was like, okay, that was not what we agreed to either, but. That wasn't.
So where was that first door money going to? Did it jump in your pocket? Or
and then that's another reason you can't pretend like we weren't. Yeah, that was wild. That was a wild day.
Yeah, that was probably like my least favorite time to be at like dealing with the business, because like even though I was drunk as shit, like I remember how many people were there, and like when we finally had a meeting, like, hey, how'd you like the show? Da 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 da. And he's like, we didn't make that much money. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? And then my least favorite thing besides that is when, like, especially when we're going with bars, they're like, oh yeah, people aren't buying drinks. And I'm like, okay, if I get the people in the door, what is it my responsibility to get them to drink too? I'm trying to entertain them. That's I feel like we always get that end of the stick. I'm like, I can just promise you I can get you people in the door. I can't promise you to make them drink. That's your responsibility.
I'll say your drink special a bunch, but if you don't have a drink special, then some of the stuff's not going to work anyway.
Yeah, but that's just one of the many things, and I think comedy proves itself once it gets into a venue, because it's easier for them, especially compared to a band, especially for the noise and everything. But I don't know, it's getting people to realize, oh, this is pretty easy, staff wise. You don't need we go into some venues, like I don't need 4 people working sound and lights or moving stuff. I just need one dude, and he can turn the mic on and go in the alley and enjoy himself. That sounded weird, but all right. And go have a beer somewhere. Go let him do dishes or something. It's really easy.
In the alley doing
dishes.
Yeah, it's smooth.
Having the time of my life.
Everybody, Spider-Man.
Man, yeah. Get a little upside down kiss. Very important. An alley.
That's the name of my second album, Upside Down Kiss. Okay.
Oh, you saw I was grabbing for the.
I'm just asking you, are you thirsty, Jeremiah?
I am actually.
Get you a drink, man.
Get you a drink. We'll allow it.
Well, it's fine.
We're not gonna laugh.
What's on your head?
Is this a TV timeout?
I'm gonna close my eyes. I can't even see you.
Yeah, we won't watch.
I laugh because it went like he was really working hard. What's your bottle supposed to make that kind of noise?
I feel like the Gatorade bottle creates more work because you have to squeeze it so much harder once you get to like the back end of it. It's not
this is a lot. It's a lot more hindrance than help. Because first you have the screw. The screw doesn't come on all the way sometimes. So sometimes you'll squeeze and then water will just come.
That's technology for you.
Go Gators, man. And then also the squeezing. The squeezing is a lot.
You should at least change up the hands. At least, this way, this one doesn't get bigger than the other one. So,
Some people have a preference, Jason. Some people have a preference.
Oh, I know, but I assume people I know is going to watch this. So
They might do both hands. I don't know. Yeah, next one we want to see a two-hander. Not right now.
Two-hander? Right now?
Yeah,
No?
two-hander. Did it whistle at the end? You did that good of a job. Ooh-wee.
When I drink it, sometimes it'll just like whistle for like half an hour. So like I'll drink it before I go to bed, and then I'll just like be hearing something and thinking
Squeezing a bottle before you go to bed.
Pause.
Like my grandpa's nasal happening. All right, sorry.
Jeremiah, does squeezing right before bed make you more tired?
Does it help you go to sleep?
I noticed that happens to some people.
No, it makes me have to pee because like I'm trying to stay hydrated.
You don't get a
Trying to
bladder
get
infection, so that's
Wait,
okay.
he get
Yeah.
woken up. All
You know
right.
how it is.
Pull back that comforter. Let's see those sheets. So let's see if there's anything.
Do you have any socks to your bottle?
Can I feel sorry? They're actually new sheets.
Oh,
Underneath.
wow. They're going good.
I got two. One's always in the wash. So it's like one's in the wash, and then one is always change it every week.
Does Bed Bath & Beyond sponsor this podcast for you to have two sheets?
Actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
we're looking
Not yet.
Well, it used to, then it closed down.
Yeah, we got one here. Lafayette.
Well, no, you're talking about the one on airline or Florida? You talking about, Jeremiah?
Yeah, the one in Florida.
Hmm.
The one in Cortana.
Yeah, I think there's one on Segan.
There's one off of Segan. Right going towards Top Golf.
Oh, word.
The lady got me like $30 off my comforter the other month.
It's a very thing.
We're gonna
Everything
try
that's in the Segan marketplace used to be by Cortana.
Mhm.
Every single thing over there, including there's
Cortana used to have a Disney. They used to have a Disney.
Walmart and Sam's Club. Every single thing that's in the Segan marketplace, they had one at the Cortana Mall, and they slowly closed them. Navy, I think the Kohl's, I think they had a Roadhouse over there, and they ended up moving the Roadhouse to the other side. It's wild.
All right. So
Yeah.
we talked a little bit about doing stand up and producing, but we haven't talked about like I guess the most important thing about JP Leonard, the man, the myth, the legend. You are
Adorable.
adorable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very, very handsome man. I wish my beard had the little bit of gray like yours.
A little salt.
Yeah, a little salt and pepper going on. No, he is the runner, co-founder, CEO, showrunner of stand-up comedy recording in Louisiana.
Okay. I
That's
didn't know what you're going at there.
Oh, what you thought I was gonna say? Like something completely.
I didn't know. I thought you were having a little stroke or something here.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought the most.
That would be
I thought it was gonna lead into him talking about him being a father or a family man.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the most
Come on in,
important thing.
kids.
I thought you were talking about his family. I was like, sir.
I don't. I mean,
That's okay.
You
you
know,
I
want to talk
understand where
about
you're
your family? You want to talk your family?
From the post, I
No.
really want to meet your youngest daughter. She seems like we'd be best friends.
Yeah, she's
Just really-
crazy. She's playing Roblox right now in her bedroom. So watching Bob's Burgers, multitasking. So
Wild. Rock and roll.
Praise him right.
That used to be me. I play my Legos while watching TV. At the little Lego table,
Yeah.
the one where you take the top off and just play the thing.
oh yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I wouldn't bother nobody.
I was a video game guy. I had toys, but
I didn't have anybody to play with. You didn't have anybody to play with your video games.
why you got to bring up that I was an only child?
You're not an only child. You're just like an only.
Is that why you have video games? I've learned only children get video games earlier than children with family.
Yeah, I had a lot of 2-player games for the 1-player household. So that was playing story mode on fighting games is really trash. I'm not gonna lie. No one wants to fight a game to play the story mode. They want to beat someone else's ass.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
that's how you get good. So
That's why I play Call of Duty every night online now. I used to never play online. Now every night since March when everything shut down, boom, Call of Duty nightly. It's on.
you out here like that? No scoping people?
Dude.
What do you use?
I go through now. My new setup. I'm using that Mac 10 because I've been listening to a lot of Ice Cube. So I roll with a Mac 10, and then I roll with I think I forget that it's a new sniper rifle. But usually I go with a assault rifle and a sniper. But then I started getting to the handguns. So then I go with like a triple burst 9 and an assault rifle. So I change it up because I'm not happy. And then but I play plunder, dude. Kill it, man. I've had over $1 million myself in a game, and you can ask Skip. I screenshot him and send him to him because he plays with me sometimes. So
Is
I'm
he
a
good?
baller.
Is he
Yeah,
better?
he likes to play those shipwreck ones, and whatever, like the little ones where it's like people, it's a small map and you just run around and see how many kills you can get. No, I like strategic. Yeah.
Those are a little more fun, I think, when you're playing with people. But I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. I don't have anyone that plays online. I meet some people every now and then. Someone will add you or something like that, and it's cool. I've met a few people, but no one's really online, and then so it's just usually me. So I just go to plunder, and if you got a mic, great. If not, I know what to do, man. Red key card, go for the bunker. It's on.
I want to get into that life a little bit more. I used to be in it, and then once I started college, it kind of fell to the wayside. But I recently played, I was trying to get on Destiny 2 with some people, but I'm so far behind. I got to get on a game when it starts, like when it the online starts, so you can get up, because I feel like it's not fun when you just try to jump in now and get your ass whipped like a 10-year-old. I don't want that shit to happen.
Yeah. I have a bit about that from playing football, because I used to just play Madden online, and yeah, man, it's brutal, kids these days. So I mean, that's ever since that the only games I would play is back in college. I used to play SOCOM Navy SEALs. That was the only online game I had, but then I stopped for years. I just played stories, but Call of Duty, man, it's got me. I'm hooked, man.
Yeah. You're on computer or PlayStation or what?
A PS4. So my wife's a big nerd gamer too. So she's about to get a PS5, and then we're gonna have them, PS4 in the living room, PS5 in the office here, and roll multiple. It's getting deep. Wow. And then you got the kid on the iPad, and the other one's on the MacBook. It's
okay.
Dogs Dogs VR.
Dogs are not VR. They're just shitting in the yard. So
I'm about to add you on PlayStation Network now.
Yeah. You want to know what my name is?
Yeah. What's your name? Name?
I didn't want to tell you my name.
Oh, is it?
No, I'll send it to you off. I'll send it to you later.
Okay, that's a date.
All right.
It's a date.
All right. All right. Cool.
I will say video games was the only place where I've been cursed out in a different language. I got cursed out in German playing FIFA. Have you been cursed out in just English or anywhere else?
I get a lot of there's a lot of Hispanic guys playing Call of Duty, and so I'll join the teams and I'll leave my mic on and they're talking, and I try to throw whatever little Spanish I know, but every now and then I can hear something, and then I know what it means when they call me a puta. So that's all I know.
That one.
Yeah.
Me and one of my best friends in college, we would play gun game on Call of Duty. The one where you have to there's 20 different. You have to kill somebody with 20 different things in order to use. But on the gun game, if you knife somebody, they go down a gun, so they have to go back down to the gun they have. So it starts from pistols to having snipers and all this stuff. So we just knife people. We just go around the game knifing people, so they couldn't go to the next one. And just run around the board knifing people, and you're much faster when you're knifing people anyway. So we're just messing people up, knifing them, and the people started saying very mean things to us on the into the ears, and so we had to stop listening to that because it was getting a little out of hand.
Isn't that more insulting?
The children take it the hardest. Like the 12.
Isn't that more insulting? Getting killed by a knife by someone, or the
what's the double on the game? It says humiliation every time.
Yeah,
as you do in the real war when in Iraq when you're
humiliation.
You just hear that out loud.
I'm blocking you, Osama.
I'm one of the people who do that too, but I'm off those games. I'm off those games.
We did it for hours, like 4 hours.
See,
Well, you still don't.
on Call of
teabags,
Duty,
right?
if on Call of Duty, if you get killed, your mic opens up to the person that killed you for like 2 seconds so they can hear you. So when you kill someone, it's mostly people going, he's in the shelf, or in the closet, or in the bathroom, or he's in that building. And so, but they can hear you. So a lot of times I'm like cursing, like, oh, damn it, whatever. So now I'm just I concentrate. So anytime I'm getting shot, I think of something fun to say, like, hey, good for you, guy, or something stupid like, is the cake ready, or whatever. That way they think, well, I'm not really playing. And then it's just me. They're like, oh, I just killed a dude who wanted cake. I mean, what's the fun in that? So.
What do you mean divorce?
They got into the Capitol. All right.
That's cool. That's a cool feature.
Yeah. But it's mostly me just cursing, so it's okay.
Yeah. If I do shooters, like first-person shooters, I like more like a fantasy. Well, I don't like the realistic stuff too much, like Halos and whatever. That's the realm I like to play. Like right now I'm playing Doom Eternal. But I haven't really played the multiplayer yet. I'm just getting through the story because it's actually really, really fun. So I like to be able to jump extra high, and like there's fantasy weapons and all that.
My wife's replaying all the BioShock. She beat all the BioShock, and so for Christmas I got her it's got all 3 of them, like 1 pack, and it's remastered. So she's working her way through that right now. So
she's a woman of culture. She's a woman of culture. BioShock.
She does all the Assassin's Creed and the God of War and the
I just beat God of War 4.
Yeah, she's beat all that. And the last one she did during the lockdown was the samurai game, which is
Sekiro.
Sekiro. Yeah, my friend streams that. Shout out to Ben.
Yeah,
shout out to Ben. Yeah, he streams that on Twitch.
Yeah,
it looks hard as shit. I was like, I'm not playing that game.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
No, God of War took my attention in November, and I thought I didn't know how long it was, and I thought it was going to take me like maybe 2 days, like a regular God of War game. It took me like 2 weeks, like every day grinding, and it was hard too. Like once I got to towards the end game, there's like all the Valkyries, the like Norse Valkyries, and like you have to fight like all eight of them. There was one day I timed it. I started at 1, and I didn't beat this bitch. No offense. To like 6 o'clock. Like I had to like order food.
How do you get in here?
It was so hard. I finally broke down and Googled it, and I was like, what equipment do I need to beat this? And it was like, oh, you're like 4. You shouldn't have even gotten up there. Like apparently I got to a level before I was ready, and I just didn't know. So I had to like finally just stop, quit, go and beat some lower Valkyries, and then I had enough equipment to beat her. But I didn't know that at the time, so I spent 5 hours of my life cursing.
You see,
it was the worst.
My wife does all these games. She beats them to 100% completion. So she does all the missions and everything. Yeah. Not me.
Nah. I'll. It depends on how fun it is. Like God of War, like that game is God of War 4. I'm not gonna lie, that's the first game in a long time I wanted to do it, and so like I keep going back and playing stuff. But I had grinded it out so much, like I'm already at like 95, 96. Like it's pretty much done. Like all the side quests and stuff. Like I would do all that, but normally, no, I'm trying to get to the story.
Yeah.
All right.
What were we talking about before we got on video games?
Recordings.
Oh yeah.
You might have heard of that before.
Yeah.
I played that mission on Call of Duty. No. Which
Russian?
Yeah. I don't know. Ask me a question about it. All right. I don't know. The recording.
Do you record comedy?
Have you ever recorded a comedy album in your life?
You've recorded art.
Yeah. No, I've recorded a few. So
Mhm.
first
All
one
over.
was the Louisiana Comedians, whatever. That was back in like 2016 or something like that.
Mhm.
And then after that, I did a listening party, and then the first no show, and then the new one that's going to be coming out, and then I did Will Merrill's album and
That's
Honore's
work.
album. Um, who else? Just Jeff D's was the last one I did, and there was someone else. Oh, Bob Morrell from New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
So
Wait, you did Bob's?
yeah. And they had to
You know
that
that.
was weird because there was live music in there. So yeah, that was like at a big theater. Like it was crazy.
Mhm.
So
That was like a one man
yeah.
show type situation, right? It wasn't
Yeah,
just.
but
It wasn't your
he had
comedy.
no, it was comedy, and like his jokes blended in, like it set up a song. And so he would do a bit, and then his song was with it, and then he had like dancers like his wife and someone else and everything. It was crazy. It was yeah, he should have had video of that, but it was an interesting production. So,
Mm.
and I was like, that was hard just to juggle all the sounds, and got to get line in, and I had to put music back over it. Yeah, it was nuts. Fun, but it was nuts. Yeah.
What made you start wanting to like do the recording a little bit more? Is it like just your music background, or is it just like you're just the guy with the knowledge? And like, where do you see that like going? Like, do you want to like make your own comedy recording label imprint, or
Um, so I started doing it because I had all this gear left over from playing music. Like I sold like almost all my stuff except for a few things. I kept like mics, and I have a little Presonus like just like a rack mount mixer thing that allows me to record all that. And I used to record the band I was in. We record live and mix it down. I loved all the production. And so when it what kind of made me want to do it is I heard some really crappy albums, like comedy recordings, and I was like, there was one of them was a compilation. It just wasn't good, so I was like, we should do that, and then it started. But re- really, what made me want to do it more was just like when you hear a bad album, like I've heard a lot of bad albums put out by labels or in people who just like mics are cutting in and out, or it's just bad. And like, I don't know. It's just, I like recording. I like everything. I love everything about comedy, but I like seeing how good I can make something sound. And that's why, I use the mics, and I have the mics pan. That way, if you listen in, it sounds like, that the left side's laughing harder than the right side or whatever. I love everything about it. Yeah, like, as far as a label, like I wish I was closer to more people recording albums. Even before the pandemic, I reached out to a label, and they were interested in like having me. It's a pretty substantial label, and having me, do some recordings, and it would be great. Going to Houston, Austin, everything. Um, I was supposed to have one in Austin actually, and then everything got canceled. I was supposed to record Jeff Buck's album. That was gonna be set up in New Orleans. That shut down. There's another comedian from Baton Rouge. I'll have to message you about, but that wanted an album recorded. So I was just okay,
I think I
I
know
just
who
love
that
it. Yeah. And then there was another one too. So there was a couple of them they just didn't make it. So I just love recording and put them out there, and then even with the listening party and Mike's, when your boy with the video thing, I'd like that's a whole world thing. So I'm like, man, let's get the video and the audio together, and then now you've got a professional looking special. And my wish is that whoever it is, if their product's strong, someone finds it, and then boom, that takes them off. I would love for someone to pick up Honore's special, or
I wish.
anything like that. That Wheels or something, just some, even now, even just with the audio, I'd love for a company to say, hey man, we could take this and release it, and like cool. That like that's the best thing, because you're bringing a finished product to a to someone who has a bigger reach. um But I mean, the whole special thing is kind of weird right now. I mean, look at Norman. Mark Norman recorded that. He tried getting it. No one would do it for him. So he's like, I'm gonna record it myself, and then shop it around. And all these people turned him down. So he's like, well, let's just put it out on YouTube. He's what 5 million views right now, and he's the ads and all that stuff. You start making money from that. But it may be the way to do it now, just because. I don't know, the whole business has changed, and it's just like, if you can get it, it's easy to get on iTunes and Amazon Music, but if you have a video, it's getting it out there, where it's distributed, where people can buy it. I think that's the next game. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish, man, I wish I can keep recording albums. It's just so much fun, and
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the business is changing so much. It's so hard to like be ahead of the curve. Like we wanted to do before COVID, we wanted to do like mini albums, like 30-minute ones, and like have the video and like the whole product last summer.
Yeah.
And like, like you said, the video is the most important thing. And it's just like, how do you do that? And I've been like out sitting there at the chalkboard trying to come up with new stuff, because just our new normal is what we're doing right now. So just kind of figuring out how that works. But it's funny you mentioned the video from Mike. I was just talking to Stephen Canatella yesterday. Like he was like, "Hey man, tell everybody." I said, "Hey, yada yada yada." He's like, "When are you guys gonna work on a new album?" I was like, "I have literally no idea." So,
I mean, even like specials, it was like everywhere. So, even Kanane, he didn't. No one wanted to do his video. I mean, Kyle Kanane, no one wanted to do a video special, so he just started paying someone. He's like, well, also it's no one wants to just see me stand up there and talk anymore, so he started paying a guy to animate some of his bits, and that's really cool. So you get that's a new little twist on it. There's other ways you can do it, but I mean, I think with the shutdown and everything with comedy, a lot of people are excited because the boom's over. So you could get a lot of people who are not in it. They're just dropping out because, what do you do when you don't do comedy for a year? I mean, a lot of people are just gonna, get away. Even though after the new year, you start getting people, oh, I want to do open mics. I mean, that's all the messages I've been getting. When's y'all mic coming back? Like, we're not. So this may thin the herd a little bit, and it may change the what's going on and the output out there. People still can make albums, that's easy, but I don't know, the whole video special thing may totally be disrupted, which could be a good thing.
Honestly, I hope it is a little bit. There's a lot of videos. There's a lot of people on who got some specials. I was like, yo, you didn't really need that. I didn't really need that one.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Was that last 2019 when Netflix did the 15-minute specials? Like this is like micro specials. I was like,
yeah.
Well, what are we doing out here? What are we doing? Like, we don't. 2018.
I think it was. No, I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I do remember that.
I want to say it was 20. I say it was like right before, because I was supposed to have in December Emma Willman, and she has one of those on Netflix. Where they're great because like you get more comedians, get a chance at it. So that's a good way of doing it. You don't have to burn a whole hour. You can do it more on your terms, but it's and a lot of people will take whatever they did on there and put on their album or something like that too. So that's something I've been thinking of, kind of like going along with this new album that I recorded for y'all. It's that's a good way to go, because I was actually in 2020 I was setting up another like a Louisiana comedian thing, like y'all did, just a bunch of people, boom, put out a thing, and on that, it's, if you recoup your money, that's the best thing, but it's just something for someone to have their name out there. And hopefully my next thing is trying to get things on like Sirius radio and all those satellite things, but I think taking 5 to 7 comedians, filming it and having the audio and make it a special like that, and then that way everyone has their 15 minutes of good chunk on video that you can take out there and put, I think that's more beneficial these days. That's really why I really like that listening party thing, because that was the first one we did that had the video, and you know
Yeah.
that's one of the best 5. You know, that's the best video for getting booked you can possibly get. You know, you got
It's the
who else
easiest thing
submits
to
them?
show. It's the easiest thing to show people. For me
Yeah,
still.
yeah, and like
Like you
yeah,
can
you're
show
like,
them
hey,
we can show them the track, like you can play them a track on the thing, but YouTube is available on whatever you're talking to somebody on, and everyone has it. So I can
yeah,
just
and
send the link to somebody, and they just watch it right then and there.
especially if you're trying to get booked on a show and you're like, hey, look, here's my, send a tape. Okay, here's my tape. And next thing you know, they're like, this is a 4 or 5 camera mix. Like, no one does, how'd you get that? When I had Todd Berry, he said, so I saw you in this record store. And I was like, oh, Todd Berry seen that video. I don't know. He didn't say it was good, so I didn't assume it, but at least it caught his eye, because it's like, oh, it's a multi-camera mix, So I mean, I think that's the best thing going forward. And that's on my plate is producing little things like that. And it's just trying to get the video distributed, or get it up on your major retailers. You can do YouTube, and but unless you're pulling a million hits, you're not getting a lot of revenue. You can do Venmo and with a paywall. It's just get on iTunes, Amazon, stuff like that. Just the hustle in the game. Yeah.
Oh, it's such a hard hustle. Such a hard hustle.
Yeah.
But I feel like just keep doing stuff. Something's going to stick eventually too. Like just doesn't matter like how you do it, what length, like you said, like just 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. Just I think now just having highly produced like quality work
Mhm.
is what everyone wants, because so many people also have access to technology to where anyone can film something, anyone set up a phone camera.
Yeah.
But what I'm starting to see is what's setting some people apart is just really just taking the time to invest and make sure that theirs is like here, and that's why like I'm very like picky about like stuff that I have out at this point, because it's like if I don't like the quality of it, I'd rather redo it
Yeah. Yeah.
video
And I
wise.
mean, and there's no reason that, Instagram comedians, I'm going to use that as a weird term, who have doing all these sketches. There's no reason their thing should look this good, and we can't just get a couple cameras and make something look good with some good editing. And that's why, your boy in Baton Rouge, his skills are just phenomenal. And so it was like, man, I had so much I wanted to plan this year, put him to work, but it's just, here we are. So
We'll do it somehow.
yeah.
Ideally, we would have done that. I mean, if you would have done one, we probably wouldn't have. But ideally, that would have happened for us probably the middle of 2021, because we would have done. We do the little ones, and then we did the big. We have the one that's gonna come out, which is a bunch of big ones.
Yeah.
Then we would have done another little one with all the newer people, like the West Russes of the world, who probably weren't even around when we did that other one, and could
Yeah.
go on and do their own little pieces of it.
And it's cool because it gives them buy-in to it, and it's like, okay, I've got this something to show. I mean, even if it's just audio only, but it encourages people. I mean, if I look back at that first one we did, there's probably 6, 7 comedians that don't even or not even comics anymore, So, but the best thing is, keep people going, and it's like, all right, cool, this works, I don't even have it online anymore. I had, I think one of the guys, he moved. He was trying to become a teacher. He didn't want his set on the online, and so I was just like, "Oh, that's fine. I can, take it off." And then I just pulled it, whatever, and it's still there. I just don't. I mean, I still have all the masters. I just, it's no reason for it to be out there. Especially everyone was only like a year and a half in too. So
Vaughn is on that one, and he wasn't even like a year in.
No, yeah. Yeah, he did his Eddie Vedder joke, which was I remember
Louisiana
that.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
the guys just started comedy whenever it came out.
that was God, I can't even remember. Like I know like Alex from New Orleans. What was Alex's last name? And then I think Jade's on there. Man, I'll have to go back and look at it, find it somewhere. But yeah, it's just one of those,
Mhm. Yeah, I listened to that like maybe once or twice, and I was like, oh wow, this I didn't know. It was like right when listening
Yeah.
party came out, I like started looking up more stuff, and I was like, oh, I didn't know they made this. And I was like, this is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It was cool because I kind of I'm instead of having like CDs pressed, I'm like, look, I'm gonna do this nice and easy. So the album was like it was long, the show, so it was like it needed 2 CDs. So I got those little CDRs that look like little records, and
Mhm.
then I got these recycled sleeves that actually look really good. They were kind of brown, so they had this cool look. I got stickers printed for the front. That was the logo, and then I had a sticker for the back with the track list. And so everyone on the show got the double CD, and then I actually had to go through and we had to like cut off like, four people's bits from the thing. And some people volunteered and one person was like, I'm moving, like, I don't need to be on that. So we got it down to one disc and I just printed a bunch of those. And then, it shows. It's like, what I would use it a lot for is when I would have like a national comedian in town and they're selling merch after, and I'll make an announcement like, if you go to that merch table and you buy something from them, I'm gonna throw you a free CD for this, and I still do that with download cards when I had them. CD Baby doesn't even do download cards now, so that whole thing's changed. So I couldn't get Will download cards, and there was someone else. There was no more download cards, so it's like, all right, well, because streaming's kind of taken over. Because if you got Apple Music or Spotify, you just
You
getting
just
paid
print
off
it.
of streams. Yeah. So, I mean, the people that are print disc, people, if you're a comedian, you're doing weekends and you're doing, clubs and stuff, you go sell some discs. People, there's still people who buy a real thing, but most people just, send me a link for that, so
Yeah.
unless
That's
you're doing
why.
vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I was like more into the vinyl thing, at least for like a couple like limited runs or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's so weird. Like the pricing is strange. Like some places only do like by the
Yeah.
hundreds, and it's
Yep.
like so
Yep.
you gotta have 1,000. I found a couple spots that do like really custom like one runs, but it's like an 8 week turnaround, or unless you spend like
Yeah.
$200 up like as a surcharge to get them to do it faster.
Yeah.
But
It's so
I really
expensive.
want something physical for this release because I feel like that's just like even if it's just for the people who were on it, it's just something that's a little tactile that you can have and just makes it a little bit more
Yeah.
memorable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it
Yeah,
is tough.
I got a few things I was planning to do for a thing. It's but just to try to like, oh, I don't have a download card. I don't, I can do a CDR. I don't have a final. So it's like, okay, what can I do? So it's just, finding different ways to attract people. People still buy shirts, and stickers. So, there's ways you can do that. So
Yeah. Or maybe a QR code with a
yeah,
design that
yeah,
goes through the album.
yeah. There you
Free
go.
game.
I mean,
Free game. Who did that remind you of? Oh man, rest in peace to that guy. There's so many times through this thing where we've just been like cracking up, and we're just like, I can't hold it anymore. But yeah, that's good, man. I think that's all the questions that I had. I don't know, I don't know how your time's looking, but if anyone else had any other stuff, but like we can start wrapping this thing on up. You
yeah, man,
got
I'm easy.
yeah, you got Call of Duty anyway. You got the
Do have Call of Duty too.
Call of Duty to
Yeah,
get back to.
PS4 is taken right now, so I won't be. Gotta wait
Hey
till
man,
everyone goes to
get that
sleep.
PS5. You're gonna be all gravy.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna buy one for my birthday next
You're gonna
month.
buy yourself a PS5?
Fuck yeah, right. Hell yeah. I got the PS3 in my bedroom. See what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the PS5, put that in the bedroom. Leave the
Mhm.
PS4 downstairs in the whatever, and then take my PS3 and put that in the kitchen where we're at right now. So that way, every place I can game, I can stream, I can do whatever. My
Nothing
PS3 is like
much.
my most sacred thing because it's like an old first generation one, and it still plays the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2
Mm,
games. So it's like an old fatty that I keep.
nice.
But once I get the
Yeah,
PS5, I don't really care no more because that's going to be able to do that too.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah. But Jason, thank you so very much for taking a little bit of time out of your Sunday to
Yeah,
join
dude.
us and answer some questions. And we miss you. Hate that we don't see you nearly as often. I think that's the 2020 robbed us of seeing your face. frequently.
Yeah.
So
Tell me about it, man. I know.
You put your
I know.
address online recently, though, so I'm gonna come to your house.
That's fine. That's fine. Which is my new one or my old one? So either way, just let me know.
I mean, yeah, you down
Yeah.
the road. I'm gonna find you.
yeah, we're gonna find you.
That's
There
fine.
ain't that many JPs.
Yeah, if you want to rent the other house, let me know. I need a renter. So
Comedy Flop House.
there you go. I can
Lafayette.
turn it into a little club, knock down all the walls.
We
2
can shoot-
bathrooms.
We
Good
can
to
shoot
go.
that next one. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a head act come through, you just put them in the rent house.
True. I thought about that. Then I have to buy some furniture and
Just have one room that's just locked all the time, and that's where they stay. And have a little
That's the green room.
have a backdoor entrance to it, so where they can't even people they
Airbnb style.
Airbnb style house.
Yeah.
That's going to be 20%.
Save
All
all
right.
hookups.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, but no, yeah. Thank you so very much again. I appreciate it, man. And from all of
man,
us
I miss
here,
y'all, man.
I miss you too.
It sucks.
You know.
Drink some Gatorade for me.
Hey, yeah, one more time. Hey, double-handed. No. Ooh, hit him on the lip. Don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes.
Let it get in your dread so you can
Got it on his chin.
It took a little too much that time.
Oh man!
Yeah,
For everyone who's listening and who's going to be watching this, thank you so very much for tuning in to Open the Mic. This has been a great episode with the amazing JP Leonard. You can follow him on social media platforms at JP Leonard. Please, the JP Leonard. I'm sorry, at the JP Leonard. Please, if you can, stop by his store, get some merch. Man, that's a hot one. It's a great
LafayetteComedy.com. That's the best way.
LafayetteComedy.com. If you want to know more about that, just go to that website. You can find all the information there. From all of us at No Show Comedy, Jeremiah, Terrence, myself, Omar Finley, we really appreciate you guys. Stay safe. This is the first episode of 2021, and it's been great. And it's been a
hot one.
Yes. That's what we wanted.
Thank you. Can we do it again? Can we do it again?
Yeah. You want me to do the whole thing?
Yeah. No, just the last one. And it's been. Oh, I don't have my mug. Never mind. We're good. Jesus Christ. Production. I'm losing it. I'm sorry.
Keep the chops up. Keep timing up. And that's it.